yesterday morning. Now, the attackers stole an R5 rifle with 30 rounds in magazine, two 9mm pistols with 30 rounds and an undisclosed amount of cash. We have on the line POPCRU spokesperson Richard Mamabolo to talk to us about this attack. Richard, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the agenda.
Good afternoon to you and the viewers.
Do take us through why you are angered by this attack.
Yes, we are quite angered by this attack because it's been one of the recurring attacks on police stations that have been taking place over time. And of course, you remember that 2 years ago, we had raised the very same matter when we had an incident in the Eastern Cape, wherein before that actual fateful day, there had been other attacks on different police stations. So this matter has not been taken seriously. And you would remember that just a few days after the Novo incident, Minister POPCRU was appointed as the Minister of Police, and one of the first commitments he had made was that we do not want to see a situation like this recurring again. Now, up to so far, there has not been anything done because we believe that in ensuring that you prevent such incidents from happening, there needs to be sufficient resources within police stations. So when you look at the situation in Badplaas, you find that there are only five officers per shift, and of course they have to look after a population of around 30,000 people within that area. So it then becomes impossible for them to ensure that there is service delivery, but as well as protecting their resources and the station itself. So that has been part of the driving challenge behind communities believing that police are insufficient and they do not react to their cries whenever they report crime. So that is part of the issues that we are raising. We think that as well, the fact that you've been having public representatives, well, in the form of the EFF recently, where its leader spoke badly about police, this obviously shows the divisions that police and communities do have at this time. So those are part of the challenges that we want to raise.
And you say this attack takes place at a time when many criminal elements are aware of the many internal challenges faced by our many police stations. What are these challenges?
Look, you go to, in fact, the uneven allocation of resources within police stations has been quite visible. You compare police stations within townships and those in rural areas, compare them with those ones within affluent areas. You realize that there are more resources in affluent areas than where crime is actually happening, which is within our localities, within townships and within the rural areas. So some of these challenges speak to that. But as well, part of the proposals that POPCRU has been making over the years was that the SAPS needs to be restructured so that we've got more manpower and capacity at the station level where crime is happening. That has not been taken place, and we believe that one of the measures we should be put in place is to ensure that we increase all these capacities. Again, I think as well it does not assist that you've got public representatives also fueling this fueling some of these challenges that we do have, because there has never been anything positive that has been said about the role that police should play with societies. We've long had an outstanding debate in the country about the relationships between police and communities. I think since 1994 there has never been that engagement, and you would know that historically most black communities see police as being brutal, as people who are obviously like the apartheid police used to do, who were obviously defending the policies of apartheid. So the relationship has not even improved, and yet within the SAPS itself, there are many challenges that are confronted by police, with recently the issue around the salary increments that is currently on the table, and yet the SAPS has not ensured that we deal with this challenge, which relates to ensuring that there are sufficient facilities within our stations.
And you assert that there exist fueled tensions between communities and police. What do you mean by this?
Look, the tensions, of course, have always been there. I mean, in most cases, media would report around the negative issues that had been committed by a small grouping of police, whilst many of our police officers remain committed to serving the people of South Africa. So the good things that police do are usually not reported. However, only the wrongs are reported. So that as well does obviously fuel the kind of tensions that we do have, because communities have gotten to an extent where, in fact, if they have to call police. They just feel that immediately when somebody can get arrested, on the next day or the next week they are free, without necessarily understanding how the judicial system works, because police only take matters of arresting people insofar as that is concerned, but otherwise there are obviously processes within the judicial system that determine whether a person should be incarcerated or not. So those are some of the basic things that we think would be important in engaging with society around, so that they understand how police functions. But as well, it is quite important that we also involve police within these roles through community policing forums, so that there is transparency and accountability taking place between the two.
Well, it sounds like it's a disingenuous position, blaming the tensions between the community and the police, and ostensibly overlooking some of the challenges faced by the police, including, the lack of resources, the lack of human capacity, and of course the behavioral changes of some of the police officers that have been widely reported in the media. And it then begs the question, how then can members of the community trust the police to offer protection to them when the police themselves have shown a great deal of vulnerability?
That is exactly the problem. That is why we had proposed that there should be some form of restructuring within the SAPS. And I want to go back to the point that when Minister Bekele came into office, one of the first commitments he made was to look into all the challenges. You remember that he was also a commissioner before, so he's quite familiar with the challenges that police have been facing. We think, of course, it's not going to be an easy thing, but however, there needs to be efforts. I think POPCRU has already started. We've got Safer South Africa Foundation, which on a regular basis goes to have partnerships with different schools across the country and SAPS in different areas, where we train and teach young people within primary and high schools around how well the criminal justice cluster functions in its entirety, but as well as how to obviously ensure that there are relationships developed. We've got numerous programs, but that is not enough really, because we need to get the involvement and the buy-in of all people that are obviously social partners in our community.
Richard Mamabolo, POPCRU spokesperson, just responding to the latest attack of the Badplaas police station in Mpumalanga, joining us on the line. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.